Hello, class. Today, today's lesson is going to be about natural fibers and twisted ropes by me, Benjo, Verge, and Miranda, Munson. The research questions today are: what are the characteristics of the ropes that you are researching? What factors do you need to think about? How you care for the rope? How do knots affect the rope? How might we use the ropes for rigging? And comparing the cost value of what you researched. Number two, what factors do you need to think about? Strength, durability, and resistance, sensitivity to water and other moisture, resistant to temperature, sunlight, and precipitation, low capacity, resistance to abrasions, handling and comfort, wear and tear, the specific use, safety, and cost. How do you care for the rope? Intended use means that you need to use the rope as it's intended to be used. That way, it helps with the possibility of failure. Avoid kinks. You don't want to repeatedly throw twists in there or pulling on the kinks because it can damage the fiber of the rope. Avoid abrasion. So when you are rubbing up against something over and over again, especially things that are not connected to the thing that you are putting the rope on, it can naturally weaken the rope by adding wear and tear on it. Avoid overloading. You don't want to overload the rope's capacity. A lot of times the rope, when you purchase the rope, it'll say talk about the weight, whether it's 5 to 1 or 12 to 1. Um, and if you ignore said rules and regulations set by the rope or the roping company, it can lead to personal injury, property damage, or even death. Avoid sudden strain. No shock, lows, or sudden jerks, so the rope won't snap. Avoid sharp angles, and it's making sure that the sharp angles are not in the weak spots of the rope. Um, Also, you want to go on something more dull and rather sharp, so you won't add wear and tear to the rope, possibly cut through it. And it says it's basically saying if you have a sharp angle, if you have some type of pattern, use that as well to help with that. These right here are examples of kink rope and frayed rope. Avoid wrong reeving. Wrong size of ropes for the sheaves of blocks or pulleys could lead to added friction and rope wear. Reverse ends is basically telling you to use both ends of the rope. So if you are tying a knot at one end of the rope, you want to make sure that the next time you use that rope, that you go from the other end to tie whatever knot you're going to do. That way it helps with the distribution of wear and tear and making sure the wear and tear is even for that rope. For chemicals, natural fiber ropes can be severely damaged with the exposure. Keep the rope clean. I want to fix that typo. Keep the rope clean. If dirty, make sure you wash it with water and let it air dry before storing. And this also saying to make sure you air dry because you would not wanting you should not want the rope to rot. Number four, how do knots affect the rope? Some knots can cause tear or even slipping if it isn't tied right or the load is too heavy. When a larger loop is doubled over, even with a knot, the strength is twice that of an unknotted material. Continuous knots, repeated knots, or uneven can cause damage to the rope over time. Under tension, the rope's diameter results in reduction of strength. Number five, how might we use the ropes for rigging? Um, like the video previously said, a lot of ropes are used for sailors, and then it transitioned to theater houses in the late 1800s. Only a few theaters use hemp rigging. One of the ones in the United States is in Philadelphia. Uh, Most theaters have switched to synthetic ropes because they are lighter weight and able to carry heavier loads. So these are also made for long-term productions and not the short-lived ones. It's used to fly scenery above a stage where there is no counterweight system. So all the lifting has to be done manually. And it's being phased out because a lot of lights are heavier than what they used to be. And then who's to say scenic isn't going to be heavy as well. Plus, it takes less manpower. And they say it's a safety concern as well. If you compare the cost value of your research, so with natural ropes versus synthetic, uh, natural ropes cost less, as you can tell. And but the thing is, they absorb water faster and could potentially be liable for mold and mildew. And we don't want um, that type of thing getting mildew. But you can easily clean it and make sure you air dry it, like I said before, and store it after it air dries. But the synthetic fiber, like I said previously, is stronger and more flexible. They tend to last 3 to 5 years versus the natural fiber ropes lasting 1 to 2 years. And so you won't have to replace the synthetic fibers as often as you would the natural fiber ropes. Now, getting rid of them, it would be easier because the natural ropes are biodegradable, whereas the synthetic ropes are not. Yeah, so we're gonna stop it right there. We don't want to take up too much time in class because we know the other group has to go. Um, but it is available through our PowerPoint if you want to watch it, or you can just type in the title and finish watching it yourself. And these are just our sources. We appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you so much for following our lesson today about natural fiber groups.